What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. I'm also the Director of Research at LeDuc Trading. It is December 17th, 2020. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today we're going to talk about the price action in the indices, volatility. We're going to go under the hood and check out those sectors and style factors, the trades I took and things that are on my watch list, and then we'll wrap up with some options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer: nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. And we will start off with our ES futures as we always do. And you can see we had our very bullish run post-election, had a bit of a dip within the past 2 weeks or so, and we pulled into the monthly value area high. We actually dipped all the way to the 20-day simple moving average, and now we're having a pretty bullish impulse off of that level. So you can see we're above all of the key moving averages, above resistance, and we have clear skies ahead. And as of right now, nothing bearish about this chart. We are approaching options expiration, which is tomorrow. And you can see we're getting a little bit of a dry up in volume here. I'm sure people are starting to go away on holiday, things of that nature. So I'm sure things are going to slow down a bit, over the holiday season, which they usually do. Today we had the S&P 500 up 0.56%. We had the Qs up 0.65%, which are technology based. We had the IWM small caps up 1.19%, and we had the Dow Jones up 0.44%. So let's take a look. We're going to check out the Qs. And let's see what we got here. So the Qs as well, looking bullish as can be. Same exact story, got that pullback to the 20-day simple moving average, and now we are hitting that target level at around 311 for QQQ. So as always, we're going to have to see what the river brings, but you can see we've had, a pretty nice rally in the Qs. We'll flip next to small caps. You can see small caps continuing their bullish run post-election. These small caps have pretty much gone up in a straight line since the election, and you can see there's really no end in sight. I do have a hedge on the IWM that I added on this candle right here, just in case we do get some volatility next week or some sort of sell the news event related to the stimulus. That stimulus bill should be announced any day now, it seems. I'm not sure if it's going to come tomorrow or what, but I would think there should be some sort of agreement coming out soon. So as always, again, we're going to have to see what the river brings with the IWM. Clear strength right here. Let's take a look. Last and least, we'll take a look at the Dow Jones, which never really does anything. Yeah, you can see we are starting to break out of our consolidation here, but the Dow Jones really had, a nice initial impulse, and it's been a very slow mover ever since. Now let's take a look. We're going to jump into some of these sectors and style factors and get a deeper look at the price action for today. So these are all ranked in terms of momentum. You can see the solar stocks cooled off a little bit, but still up 0.96% on the day. We have our next generation internet fund up 2.67%, and our ARK innovation fund up 1.71%. What's interesting now is, remember how we had the gold miners down here for so long and they were just lagging and couldn't catch a bid, down almost every single day? Now they're no longer on the bottom of the list. You can see we have the transports taking its place, up 1.17% on the day. We have the aerospace and defense down 0.49%, And we have utilities, which have been lagging, up 0.67%. GDX, those gold miners, moved up a couple of slots in this list. So that is definitely interesting to me. Let's take a look at those gold miners. And you can see gold miners up 3.5% on the day. Did not close on the highs, but this is looking like a pretty nice move that we have going on here. You can see we've been in a downtrend for quite some time. And you can see actually what's pretty interesting is for the first time in a while, you know, we made our low, our swing low down here around like 33.05. And then you can see we actually made a higher low. So I would be interested, like right now I believe we're at the upper Bollinger Band for GDX. You know, if we do come off a little bit, do we make another higher low? This is starting to look a little bit different to me. Gold is showing, you know, a very similar picture. And it makes sense because Jay Powell pretty much came out yesterday and said, hey, there's no end in sight to this money printing. We can actually do even more if needed. So yeah, we're seeing Bitcoin rallying, gold rallying. We're seeing it all. Today was a pretty crazy day for Bitcoin. Yeah, you can see. Okay, I always pull this one up. BTC is, you know, regional bank. Got to do /BTC to get to the futures. And you can see Bitcoin futures breaking out of consolidation. And we got, you know, a nice move up today again. So this is a really nice move in Bitcoin as well. But you can see anything that is a hedge against the fiat currency devaluation is really moving very nicely. Now let's see. Our cannabis sector took a bit of a break today, down 0.41%. We had energy taking a break as well, regional banks. So there were a couple of, you know, relative losers on the day. But overall, this is some pretty nice price action. For our style factors, we had momentum and international momentum as the best performing style factors today. And then, let's see, we had high beta up 0.16%. So that's kind of unusual. You know, today it seemed like it was a pretty risk-on day. You can see the high beta for a while, it was at the top of this list for momentum. Now it's moved into third place. So I'm starting to see some, you know, some shifts under the surface in terms of the style factors people are going for, you know, the sectors, things like that. And that's one of the benefits when you watch this stuff every day. You know, you can start to pick up on some of those patterns. Now for some of the trades and things that are on my watch list, well, let's take a look here. We have Expedia. Expedia was one that I've been interested in for the past few days. And as you can see here, this one is another kind of like unorthodox trade, very similar to my GoodRx trade. And what I'm noticing with Expedia is, you know, their business is related to travel. So they have like Trivago, all these different platforms. And what I'm seeing is they had a really nice run after the COVID vaccine. And look at this massive gap right here. I believe this was like a 20% move in a single day. Pretty monster move. But ever since then, we've just consolidated sideways. And you can see here, it looks like we are testing this point of control almost every day, and we are just not breaking through that support level. So I'm seeing, okay, we're having some sort of basing price action, and once this vaccine, you know, really starts to be administered, I do think there's going to be some pent-up demand for travel. And I'm seeing we have a nice target level here at $140. And this is a stock that is still, you know, well off of its highs. You can see even on the weekly chart, you know, we made it within the yearly value area, and now we're just kind of consolidating. So I could definitely see this one, you know, hitting that 138 level, 140 level at the very least. And you can see this one hit a peak at around $161 in its prime. So who knows, maybe you could get there again. The other thing that I'm seeing and this is really what prompted the trade, is when we take a look at our Cheddarflow, and I am going to be posting my affiliate link for Cheddarflow in the description to this video if you are interested in doing a free 7-day trial. But let's take a look at what we have for Expedia. So today we had a $1.8 million order go off for calls. These are for November 19th of 2021. And you can see they went with the 65 strike. So this is really just a stock replacement play, getting a little bit of leverage and positioning in Expedia. And I saw something very similar, the past couple days as well. And Expedia is not a company that I ever see, show up in the options order flow. So over the past couple days, just seeing a pickup in activity here. So if you look, we've got that order from today. Then we have another $1.9 million order. This one was yesterday, and this is for January of 2022, and they bought the 130 strike. I actually like this trade, and that's the one that I went with. I also bought, the January 21st, 2022 calls, and luckily I got them pretty close to the low of the day today, when it was really testing that point of control. So we'll see how that one goes. That one, it's a leaps play where, there's about a year of time on that trade. So we'll see how that one develops. So we had Expedia. Lemonade was one that I put on yesterday. Closed out Lemonade. You can see Lemonade had a really nice run. Closed this one out for about, I believe it was like plus 18%. This one I really just wanted a day trade. You can see, yeah, you can see a really nice move for Lemonade. So not too bad for just holding for one day. And let's see. Plug, I closed out the second half of my Butterfly today. Plug was just looking like it had so much power early on in the session. My Butterfly was targeting this 27.5 level. I took a target in the Butterfly last week, and now I took another target in it today for about a 90% gain. I put that Butterfly on, I believe, back here somewhere. So that was pretty nice, and it expires tomorrow. So I figured, I don't want this thing to like blast off to 34 tomorrow, and that Butterfly's a max loss. So I took the rest of it off today. Then some things that I'm watching. Gold we already talked about, how that's catching some bids, why I'm watching it, etc. Baidu is one that I'm watching for tomorrow. Again, I traded this one twice, like in the past week or so. And this is definitely, in terms of P&L, one of, if not my biggest name, for the month. And what I'm seeing in Baidu is we got this really nice move. This is where I entered. I ended up closing and rolling out my position on this candle right here. And then I closed that roll literally at the top right here on this big impulse green candle. I wasn't sure if we were going to get some sort of fade in Baidu or a pullback. And I actually like this price action right here where we're basically going sideways. But you can tell it looks like there's still some accumulation going on. Like we're not closing on the lows. We're not really pulling back. Anything like that. So this is one that is at the top of my watch list for tomorrow to enter for a third time. So we'll see how that one goes. You can see this little pullback is coming on, much lower volume. So this is definitely an interesting one for me. And I just want to keep playing it, until it stops working. Then we have Pinduoduo. This is another one that looks pretty interesting. Where the heck is it? Pinduoduo, that K-Web sector ETF is starting to gain some momentum. And I'm seeing Pinduoduo had a bit of a pullback right here, pulled back to the 20-day simple moving average. Now we're bouncing off, and now we're above the 5-day EMA. So Pinduoduo, we do have some resistance ahead at 152.8, but I love trading this name, and I definitely want to come back to it if it wants to turn bullish again. that about does it for the trades that I'm watching. Let's take a deeper look into some of this order flow. I know we went through Expedia, but let's take a look at some of the other large orders for today. And look at all these orders. This is insane. So we have a lot of players today that basically went, I want to get into the S&P 500. Look at all of these. So SPY for January, 9.4 million. We had another SPY for January, 3.5. These are pretty big orders. And I even saw some, look at these. These are for 3.6 million each. They expire tomorrow. So I'm assuming this person is just going to take delivery. Unless they're just like a savage multi-million-dollar day trader, who knows? But yeah, it looks like everyone is trying to get exposure to SPY, you know, very quickly. And normally I don't see this kind of activity where it's just like, get me exposure, like I need more beta in my portfolio. Yeah, look at this one. This one's 5.8 million, 12 million, 12 million. This is very odd. And then, of course, we have our Tesla call buyers always coming in hot. Let's see. We have these people, it's like a religion, just buying those Tesla calls every day. Yeah, and Tesla's looking pretty good. It didn't really have much of a push into the end of the day because I watched this one, you know, earlier and it was at about this same level. But yeah, Tesla, you know, has had another really nice run. Another one, my apps. It's one of my favorite companies. Look at apps. It's finally hitting, you know, my target from my article. In the piece that I put out on Twitter, this maybe like a month or two ago that I did the research. I did a deep dive fundamental analysis on this company. My target was somewhere around like $55 to $60. This was back when it was trading at around 40. So we'll see. It's about hitting my target. You know, I don't really adhere strongly to targets. Like, I think targets are kind of stupid, to be honest, if you're creating like a fundamental price target, because it's really just a function of supply and demand. So, you know, target's 55 to 60, so that's pretty cool. You know, if it hits the level, then I can say like, oh, it hit my target. But yeah, we'll have to see what the river brings. This one's definitely a bit overbought now, trading at the upper Bollinger Band, but it is definitely one of my faves. And that about does it for this market recap video. We made it to options expiration. I will see you all tomorrow.